actually haven't spoken since Donald Trump in what he put 125%, 145% tariffs on China. I don't think it's going to do Americans any favors. First of all, I think if this was done maybe 30 years ago, I think the bargaining chips for Americans would be a lot better. He tried to run for presidency back in the 2000s, and I don't know what had happened. Maybe he just wasn't cut out for it. And quite honestly, so far in the Donald Trump administration, no, actually not administration, business-wise, nothing really has stood out. Really, nothing was really stellar. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out that he hasn't done anything stellar. He doesn't have the number one stock. He doesn't have the number one casino. Even in casino, he couldn't do really well. Got the license for it. Even had a lot of Chinese investors actually invested into him a long time ago. So he has actually always have used Chinese every single time. So we have actually been provided one way or the other for him, to him, in the Trump Hotel, and also at the other places where you need to raise money for bonds. And a lot of people get screwed over. Even a lot of Americans don't know. And what he's really doing right now is that he's trying to flex his muscle. That, hey, Americans, the biggest customer in the world, we consume the most things, and you gotta give it to us cheaper. You gotta let us have a better trade agreement. I think trading agreement, definitely, I agree that I think China could loosen up on some of the things, but it has to be diplomacy. It has to be, let's sit down and talk, not like just raising some tariff and somebody's going to bow down to you and say, oh, America, you're so huge, you're so big, please do it to us. It sounds like a child play that anybody that is interested in doing something like that's not real mature adults are. It's saying real mature adults should be saying that, hey, I got some issues. Let's talk. Let's go into the room. Let's talk about some real solutions. Here are some of my problems. Do you think you could help in these areas? I think I could help you out in this area. Instead, that's real dialogues, right? Real dialogues, real diplomacy. And quite honestly, I never realized J.D. Vance, who is so bad, so horrible. I mean, seriously, he's one of the worst VPs I've ever seen. If you don't know anything, or you don't know a lot, some VPs just don't say anything. And this is a VP that whenever he does say something, it's just it's retarded, It's just so retarded, and saying that Chinese are peasants. I mean, I'm not that offended, but I just think it's very ignorant, the fact that you would say something like that. And quite honestly, it's a public knowledge that Chinese overall as a race, we have one of the highest IQ scores in the world. It must be the smartest peasants in the world, if that's what you want to call it. But I think overall, U.S. has very little to offer nowadays in terms of trading. It's just not as good as what it used to be. I don't want to play to the fact that America has nothing good, but they're not really producing that many awesome, cool stuff compared to back in the days, I think. But they still have a lot of high technology chipset and things like that. But Chinese are catching up. That's the thing. I think Chinese can sustain somehow. And there are already a lot of sanctions for the past 15 years, 20 years, even starting from the Obama administrations. That's they could not let Chinese have access to a lot of chips. cannot get easily to talk to ASML, have a lot of restrictions on the AI computations, things like that. Things that we do need, quite honestly, to actually just for our own usage, for the Chinese market usage, and create a decent economy for our own selves. And that is even in the impediment. And today, the truth has been a lot of hurt, like on the Russians, a lot of hurt on the Chinese citizens overall, for the past 20 something years. That a lot of people just have done basically nothing wrong. Again, with TikTok, it was absolutely bullying, of TikTok, Huawei, and ZTE. All these companies were basically just thrown into something that was accused of without even any real meaning, without any real evidence, without any real evidence that a lot of Russians are actually just normal businessmen or people. They're just family people. They just want to live lives, and you're seizing their assets. Just there are a lot of things about the U.S. Is like I really question the humanity, really, what they have been doing, internationally. I mean, that doesn't seem like as a nation where that is not afraid of anything. And in fact, this is actually showing weaknesses that you need people to comply to you. You need the affirmation, that type of thing. I think really confident people, they don't really need affirmations. They don't really need people to tell them they're the best. They know they're the best. So why is U.S. doing that? It's because maybe they think they're no longer the best. That's why they're questioning whether they're the best. I think that how the world order works with Russia and basically China for the past 20 something years is that they accepted that America is the best, actually is the number one thing, and they're gonna patrol around the world. As long as they leave us alone, then we'll leave America alone. I mean, if Russia and China is a real threat, they would have started wars. They have started wars. They would have just imposed sanctions against the U.S. like proactively, to do all types of hurt for America. In fact, actually, they don't really do that. They don't really do much sanctions. It's actually the other way around. There are tariffs. There are deterrents of importing things to China, but it's not like it's impossible to do that. It is actually overall it is still okay to do a lot of the things, maybe just with a little bit of a fee. Now, I really don't think that there is it's not actually a equal amount of force where America has done to the Russia, America has done to China. It has never been equal. So now that Chinese is just not begging to, not simping over the U.S. is actually very normal. To me, I don't think there's any need for China to simp. Even despite a lot of people saying, oh, Chinese economy has slowed down a lot, there are a lot of issues with their real estates has plunged. And it is a fact. It is something that is not fixable at this moment. Where we totally accept that. We accept that is fine. But I think overall the U.S. is thinking that we still need to simp on these accounts, which we like Walmart's. I mean, we like Target, definitely. But it's to the point where you're asking farmers to, quite honestly, it's basically these are farmers, right? They could eat their own crop, so they'll never go really hungry. But it's just the fact that whether these farmers can buy a big screen TV, could buy next generation computer, where this farmer could buy a brand new pickup truck, that type of association. Um, the worst situation of a farmer is just they don't buy anything, they just eat whatever they could build, and that's how it is. But if you are a city boy, it's great that you're making the money, but if you don't have any food, your money is basically worthless. You'll die on starvation. So that's as simple as like the narrative that you could actually put. Is no simpler than that. It's just the producer doesn't have to simp over a customer. You have to understand that. Producers could always produce somewhere else. They could produce for somebody else. They could produce for themselves. They do a lot of things. And if, like, let's say America disappear tomorrow on the face of the earth, everything will still be running, to tell you the truth. But if it is the other way around, if China disappear on the face of the earth tomorrow, good luck in a lot of businesses, man. It's not going to be really good. That is for sure. There will be a lot more catch-up time and lead time to recover of the Chinese production. Overall, you could say Chinese people are peaceful. I have never seen an aggressive Chinese person, period. There are aggressive Chinese people, gangs and stuff like that, but overall, most people are pretty peaceful. Really is, So that's what I think, and that's what I think. Like the Donald Trump administration and himself, they have gone like berserk, And I think also there is some kind of craziness that he has always in his own mind, where he's thinking about people ripping him off. In fact, Donald Trump has only ripped off other people in terms of business associates, in terms of a lot of his bondholders, a lot of his workers that actually worked for Donald Trump, didn't pay them on time, didn't even pay them. All types of things that he did, literally he ripped people off. So I don't know why the person that's ripping others off thinking that he's being ripped off. It's insane, you know what I'm saying? But that's how most people are. Everybody think everybody is a con artist when the third person is a con artist. So that just explains exactly what he might be thinking, Anyway, thanks very much for listening in, and I'll talk to you later.